I was just depressed. I hated myself. I couldn't find, if you were to ask me, you know, what I liked about myself, I couldn't find anything.
Everything stopped working, and she became more and more distant, and it became harder and harder to reach her.
I wasn't the same person at all. I was angry at everything. I was confused. I really needed help. I didn't see it, but I did.
Love and caring alone was not enough. We had tried therapy and counseling, group therapy, individual, every combination you could think of, and we sort of reached the conclusion that we had felt like we had run out of practical options.
We knew our son was in trouble. We went on a search, and we found Outback.
We started Outback with the vision in mind of bringing the best of what others had done in youth wilderness programs and combine that with the best of modern therapeutic techniques so that we could individualize treatment, customize treatment, and reach every young boy and girl that's been struggling.
The outdoor part of this whole program is really key, one of the major keys to helping a student change. Out here we have trees, dirt, bushes, animals, none of the things that they're used to, that they've kind of been a part of their old context, the computer, telephone, radio, friends, drugs, all that stuff is not attainable here. And so at the very surface level, all the things that kept them in the old cycles and the old behaviors are not here, and a lot of real I guess quiet kinds of things are here that allow them to quiet down and just really start to become introspective about their life.
Especially in this day and age, I think there's so much noise and stuff and things that kids are able to fill up every moment of their day. And I think to have just time and silence is a great thing.
The wilderness doesn't punish or reward. Consequences come as a result of the child's choices. And that makes it very clear to them. My efforts are what dictate what's going to happen to me, because the wilderness isn't going to either punish me or reward me. It's up to me.
The first couple of weeks were kind of hard, just like getting used to being where I was. And then I think I found myself focusing more on like what we were talking about with our therapists in counseling, and like thinking about myself and what I was doing.
A lot of it was disbelief. Like, I can't be going here. Like, this isn't for me. Like, people who go to programs are ones with problems, and I don't have problems, which is definitely not the truth.
Well, I mean, I didn't appreciate anything at home. I mean, at home you have all those materialistic things. That's what you can focus on. You know, you don't have to deal with any of your issues inside because you have all these distractions. But when you're out in nature, there's nothing. All you have is yourself and really the people around you to support you. So when you have to deal with those issues and you're faced with those issues, then that's all you have is yourself. So it takes away all of those materialistic aspects.
So the clutter of the world's gone, and it's just them and the staff and others who are really engaged in the reflective process. There's adversity out here that just comes with being out here. The elements themselves are therapeutic because they tend to make us find strengths in ourselves. They kind of become one with the earth, so to speak. They start to push themselves physically. They start to quiet down on the inside. And it just is a beautiful context, really, for someone to come to find themselves.
Pretty much every day I learn something new about myself, and I've come to learn about who I am. And it makes it so easy without any distractions to just kind of sit and think and think and think, and just open your mind up to things that you might not have seen before.
It's taught me a whole lot about myself. Like when we hike, you get a lot of time to yourself. You know, you don't really talk too much because you're focused on the hike and you're focused on what's going on in your head. And you can get a lot of epiphanies and a lot of enlightenments during those hikes.
One experience I've had out here is busting. That means just getting a coal, and you use a spindle and a top rock and a bow and a fireboard. And you just stick the spindle in the fireboard and put the top rock on top, and then just you move the bow. And it's really hard. You have to work at it. You definitely cannot get it the first time you try. But the first time I did it, I felt like I was everything. I felt wonderful. I felt so good. I was so happy to see that little coal, to see that fire coming up. It was so exciting that I did it myself, and I just have a coal to make fire for the rest of the group to eat.
I like a lot because a lot of it is based on Aboriginal and Native American traditions, and I think that a lot of those traditions that are, you know, shown through the ceremonies, and it's pretty much just a big metaphor for life.
You know, at Outback, unlike a lot of other wilderness programs, we incorporate the making of primitive living skills items. And just like ancient cultures from all over the world for many years, that's where the lessons come from, that's where the metaphors come from. And that's one of the ways that we teach the kids out on the trail.
This is a panpipe flute that I made. One of the girls that I worked with, she saw it and she wanted to make one. And as we were making them, like, she was getting really frustrated. And you know, just one simple little thing, she's just like, oh, this reed isn't turning into the flute like I wanted it to, you know? And just one little thing, you know, I was able to just mention how, well, you know, it takes time. You've seen yourself out here. You know, what effort you've put into making yourself a different person, a better person. And, you know, give the flute a little time to be a flute, you know? To be something really cool. And she's just like, oh, true.
Her first letter to me was very angry. Words like, you know my situation here, you know, what do you think that you're doing? And by the second and third week, I was getting letters that said things like, I'm really starting to work on things now, and I'm starting to work on myself, and I know that I'm making progress now.
As we would communicate through letters primarily, and frequent open communication with our therapist, it was quite obvious that something was going on, and we began to see the air clearing, so to speak, the smoke clearing, really within a matter of a couple of weeks, and it just got progressively better.
Being able to write, getting Dan's letters have been uplifting, and you know, letting us know that he's okay, and us being able to write back and, you know, kind of reinforcing, you know, hey, that sounds great, you're doing good, and keep up the hard work, and this is some of the stuff we've learned because we're reading the same books you are, and, you know, we're all in this together.